BuckNastyRadio.com.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? After Hours show is here. Live, raw, and uncut sports talk tonight, 10 p.m. East Coast time. But before we get too live and before we get too raw and uncut, we have to welcome the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. John Hoffman. What's up, Hoffy?
What's up, Buck?
Oh, you know, man.
You're looking shredded these days, my friend.
I know. Like, those are some jack-off forearms, aren't they? Those are forearms that when you see a guy just like that, you're like, man, this guy jacks off a lot. I'm kidding.
Live, raw, and uncut.
But guys, this is the After Hours show, and me, myself, and Hoppy open this up to you guys to whatever you want to talk about. If you want to talk about the New England Patriots, come on down. If you want to talk about the Houston Texans, come on down. If you want to talk about the greatest team to ever graze the face of this earth in the New York Football Jets, come on down. All you got to do is click that link that I pinned to the YouTubes and Facebooks here. Click that link. It'll pop us up right there on the bottom. And Hoffy say, hey, bring this man on. Let's talk to him. But Hoffy, today, I released, that's right, Buck Nasty himself released Week 1 NFL Power Rankings. And these Power Rankings have people up in arms. So before we get too carried away, before you start bashing me, Hoffy, about all these crappy-ass rankings or whatever, let's show the people what the rankings are right here, right now. So, guys, these are obviously my rankings here from going into the get that out of there. How to get that out of there? Oops, wrong button. Going into the Week 1 of the 2023 NFL season. At number 1, I do have the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they're the most complete, most well-rounded team. And then you had the Miami Dolphins coming at 2. The 49ers coming in at 3, even without Nick Bosa. I still think they're a solid number 3 team. And then number 4, you have my Kansas City Chiefs. Dallas Cowboys coming in at 5. The Bengals coming in at 6. Seahawks coming in at number 7. At number 8, I do have the Minnesota Vikings. Number 9, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers. And that coming in at number 10, the New York Football Giants. So, Hoffy, when you see these power rankings, what are your first initial thoughts when you see these?
Just like the rest of the audience, are you high on drugs tonight?
No, I'm not. Like, what don't you like about them?
Well, first off, you spelt New York Jets wrong there at number 10. And I might even move those. I think you meant to say New York Jets up a couple there. I don't know where you're coming from with Dallas Cowboys at number 5. I think it's just because you got some stuff from Dak Prescott on your chin, so might want to clean that one up too.
I definitely swallow everything that I put in my mouth. But with that being said, Kevin says a bunch of haters here. Bunch of haters says Kevin. He says no Buffalo. Yes, I think the Buffalo Bills are going to be one of the most overrated teams of the 2023 NFL season. I don't see any way, shape, or form where they are a top 2 team in the AFC East. I have the Miami Dolphins and then probably the New England Patriots at the 1-2 thing, and then the Jets, and then the Buffalo Bills. So as much as you guys love Josh Allen, much as you love Stephon Diggs, much as you love Gabriel Davis, when you look at the rest of the Buffalo Bills team, I don't think anything scares me with the Buffalo Bills, Hoffy. Would you put the Buffalo Bills up there?
I got them definitely in the top 10. I think your top 5 is minus the Dallas Cowboys. I think I would definitely have the Bengals in that top 5. I love the Dolphins and what they bring to the table, but can we promise that Tua's not going to turn into a vegetable by the 5th week of the season?
We cannot promise no seizures this season.
I mean, they did get a solid backup that can win you some games, but I think their season relies on the health of Tua. But I think if you have your top 4 are doable, I think you have Cincinnati in there. I think you can mix them into any of those, 3 or 4 spots. I think I would have Kansas City and San Francisco in 2 and 3 spots, in any order that you want. But the Dallas Cowboys in the top 5.
So let me justify where I put the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, obviously, the Kansas City Chiefs are the reigning Super Bowl champions. Obviously, I am a Kansas City Chiefs fan. So you cannot say this is biased in any way, shape, or form. But last year, how the Kansas City Chiefs kind of excelled with the subtraction of Tyreek Hill not having that number 1 guy. The news that has kind of come out of Chiefs camp in the last 24 hours, right? Chris Jones is not there. Travis Kelce hyperextended his knee at practice. He probably will not play week 1. So you kind of have to take that everything into consideration. And that is why I kind of dropped the Chiefs down, because I did have them at number 2, but I dropped them down to number 4 just because I do think the San Francisco 49ers are a little bit better, even without Nick Bosa. With a head-to-head matchup right now, I think the Miami Dolphins would beat the Chiefs. I think the 49ers would beat the Chiefs, and I think the Eagles would beat the Chiefs as well. Now, putting at the Cowboys, at number 5, the Cowboys on paper have one of the most dominant teams out there. You look at the receiver core from top to bottom, Hoffy, any one of the receivers on their roster can be a number 2, if not a number 1, on any other team in the NFL. They have a damn good quarterback in Dak Prescott. That's right. I said damn good quarterback.
Did you not see the video of him thrown into double coverage today to a receiver that was 5'5"?
What you do at practice is you test your limits. You see what you can and cannot do. He was simply testing the jumping ability of Deuce Vaughn. But the Dallas Cowboys have the best defense in the NFL. They have a top 5 offense in the NFL, and they have one of the best coaches in Mike McCarthy in the NFL. The Dallas Cowboys are going to do some work in the regular season. Look out for them.
There's the homer in you coming out on those Cowboys there, buddy.
Kevin
you're telling me that defense is better than the Eagles or the 49ers?
So this is what you guys do not realize. The Philadelphia Eagles defense is really, really good. They are probably the best defense in the NFL. I will give you that. The 49ers defense right now, without Nick Bosa on the field, they are not better than the Dallas Cowboys. But with Nick Bosa on the field, they're probably kind of neck and neck. I think the Dallas Cowboys are a solid 2, if not 3 defense in the NFL. Yes, I think they're that good a defense.
I mean, I think the Eagles even got the steal of the draft and getting Dean, the linebacker out of Georgia, University of Georgia. I think he's only going to help that defense. What's that?
Isn't it Jalen Carter? that they got?
Well, they got Carter, but they got Dean too. He slipped
Okay.
down
Yep,
down
that's
there.
right. Yep, you're right.
But yeah, I mean, adding both of those guys, really, I mean, already a potent defense, and then you add those two on there, and Dean's coming from the Georgia background, and there's some Bulldogs already on that roster, so I think they're gonna mesh really well.
So Kevin brought up this point. NFL.com has the Buffalo Bills at number 5. See, Kevin, what you don't understand is that literally the NFL.com, yes, they might be the NFL website and all the experts are at NFL.com. Last year, they had some of the worst power rankings all time over there. If you look at their preseason or the rankings from last season from week 1, only 2 of those teams were in the top 10 at the end of the season, and that was the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. So that tells you how much stock you can put into NFL.com power rankings. The real power rankings are for me, no other person out there. So, Hoffy, you keep wanting to dog about the Dallas Cowboys, but you kind of overlook the simple fact that I put the Pittsburgh Steelers up there. People were pissed that I had the Steelers up there and not the Ravens. Do you think the Steelers are a top 10 team, or the Ravens are a top 10 team at that?
No, absolutely not for either one of those teams. I do think the Steelers could make some noise. I do think they could slide into that 8, 9, 10 area in a couple weeks or so. I do think they might surprise some people, but to start this season with them in the top 10, no. I mean, I think you got to have the Jets over them. I think you got to have the Bills in there. Shit, I'd almost put the Patriots in front of them, and I don't think they belong in the top 10 either.
Okay. Why would you put the New York Football Jets in the top 10 power rankings when they're going to be a 7-win team this season?
Because they're better than the Giants, the Steelers, and the Vikings, and the Seahawks.
What? Have you not been paying attention to what I've been telling you the last 2 weeks about the New York Football Giants? They are the most complete team in the NFL. They added every missing part of their offense and their defense that they needed last season through the draft and free agency. Look out for Danny Dimes. And
I hope so. I love me some Brian Daboll, but I'm a what have you done for me lately kind of guy, and I don't know that we can trust Danny Dimes yet. I would like to, North Carolina guy, why not? But I just don't know. Or Duke, excuse me.
So you want to take the Giants out and put the Jets in, and you want to take the Steelers out and put who in? Who would you replace for the Steelers?
I think you got to have the Bills in there.
Bills, okay, yeah, that's right. Take the Bills.
I mean, the Jets are definitely, I think, gonna be in there. I think the Jets are better than the Steelers. I think you put them head to head. I think they would not even hold the Jets jockstrap at this point in time.
So,
heck, why don't you put the fucking Buccaneers in there?
Oh, now you're just now. I do love me some Baker Mayfield.
Heck, I'd put the Saints in there over the Steelers.
Oh, man, Hoffy, my man.
Come on, we've been talking about Jimmy Graham all off season.
What makes
they got a dog at quarterback? They got they got 2 top 10 quarterbacks on their team. Just ask Combs.
Derek Carr is pretty good. I will give you that.
And you got Jameis Winston. There's 2 top 10 quarterbacks. Like I said, just ask Combs.
So what don't you like about the Pittsburgh Steelers?
They're the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Besides that, give me some insights of why don't you like the Steelers?
Like I said, it's what have you done for me? I mean, they started what
last season. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. Their defense is a top 5 defense in the NFL. TJ Watt is a dog.
9-8 isn't top 10.
What?
9-8 isn't top 10.
So last year, this year. This is Kenny Pickett's team. He's had a full offseason. He's going to be started week 1. George Pickens is a dog. Najee Harris is a dog. The whole defense is a dog.
I agree with the offensive, the weapons. They're dogs, and Watt's a stud, but again, he's much like Tua. Can we trust him to show up all season? And like I said, I do think they're going to be good, but to start them in the top 10 without anything to go off of outside of last year being 9-8. I think you got to take a lot of
week 1 power rankings are based off of paper and what is done last season, right? On paper, the Pittsburgh Steelers are. I wanted to really put them above the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, then where are the Cleveland Browns?
The Cleveland Browns are number 11. So I actually had the Cleveland Browns at number 10, and then I'm like, man, I've been hyping up this Giants team for the last 2 weeks. I got to have them up there. So, being like the Cleveland Browns, like honestly, if I put money at betstamp.app, use promo code MANHOUR, they matched my first deposits, and they gave me a deposit. I'm like imagine that. Link is in the description, guys. But I put money on the Cleveland Browns to win the AFC North. They have like a plus 800 shot or plus 900 or something. It's something ridiculous, right? The Cleveland Browns, they are a dark horse in the NFL. If Deshaun Watson is 80% of what he was in Houston, the whole NFC North is going to be for a rude awakening. A rude awakening.
So where's the Chargers in Jacksonville then?
Exactly. Trash and more trash.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean, my man Alpha Rob's like in the chat here says this has to be a buck list. I mean, because it's right.
Thank you, Alpha Rob.
This is the best
shit.
Tell me, okay, you want to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers being 9-8? They're not that good, right?
There, but
the Jacksonville Jaguars, they had to win a Week 18 game last season versus a Tennessee Titans team on a third quarterback, their third quarterback, right? And they hadn't won a game in like 9 weeks. They barely squeaked it out.
What did they do in the playoffs against the Chargers, who's everybody's high on?
The Chargers literally went to bed and they shit in their bed and they're like, this looks like cake. Let me put this in my mouth. And then they ate it and they still had an opportunity to win the game. And they're like, I want to go back for seconds. And that's exactly what they did. They put 2 piles of shit in their mouth and they still almost beat the terrible Jacksonville Jaguars. I do not understand why people are so high on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
No, you got to get rid of the Cowgirls. You got to get rid of the Vikings, the Steelers, the Giants. You can replace them with, Detroit Lions, the Saints, Los Angeles Chargers, Jacksonville Jaguars. But those bottom 3 have got to go, and you might as well kick Dak out with it because we all know Trey Lance is going to be in there by week 3.
And now you are talking shit. The Detroit Lions are not a good team.
Okay, how about the Packers then? I'll take the Packers over these clowns.
The Vikings won the NFC North last season. You're like, what have you done for me lately?
Packers, you like that? You like that? Yeah, what's he going to do in prime time? He's going to shit his pants just like he will in the playoffs.
Well,
you like that?
For us, they only play 3 primetime games this season. So, hey, they're going to be at least 14-3.
Yeah, and like what was every single one of their wins was less than like a touchdown.
Yeah, they had like
you can't expect that to
differential or something to that effect.
Yeah, and you can't expect that to work out in their favor again.
You are 100% correct. And week 2, they could easily drop off. They could easily drop off the list. And you know what? The Detroit Lions might be up there. If the Detroit Lions can even hang with the Kansas City Chiefs without Travis Kelce, without Chris Jones, they keep it close, Hoffy.
I mean, you've been talking all offseason about the pack. You don't have the pack on there? Jordan Love's going to be MVP. Come on.
Listen, they're at number 12. If we did a top,
you just making
list,
shit up.
No, I'm not. The Packers, I had them outside the top 10 because you are correct to an extent, right? What have you done for me lately to an extent? And lately, the Green Bay Packers completely rebuilt their shed, right? They have a brand new Lamborghini in the garage, but we don't know if the Lamborghini runs yet. We just put some some 93 fuel in it. We put a little bit of Lucas oil in that Lamborghini, and that baby's starting up. It sounds real nice, but I'm not for sure if the garage door open can like open yet. So once that garage door is open and that Lamborghini is out, the Green Bay Packers will be a top 10 team by week 4. The Green Bay Packers will be a top 5 team by week 7 because they'll be 8-0 at that point, 7-0. Packers.
You took a page out of your boy Tyreek Hill's book and went to Madden 2024, didn't you? Pull this shit out of your ass.
I mean, I did simulate. That's how I get the first round right. But Steve is in the chat. What's up, Steve? Pittsburgh has the longest odds to win the division, don't they? I do not know. I have not looked at the AFC North odds besides the Browns, but I thought the Browns were the longest odds. Like Coffee, if you can look that up.
I think you should fucking put the Ravens in that shit.
This list is so messed up. It is not messed up. You guys are just jealous because I am a person that will speak the truth. I will speak the truth that Alpha Rob's Buffalo Bills are shit this season. I will speak the truth that the New York Jets are highly overrated. I will speak the truth that Trevor Lawrence is not the second coming of Jesus Christ himself. You guys just don't understand what real football is, and this is real football right here, baby. Give me these 10 teams in the playoffs. Ooh, it'd be a great playoffs. Great playoffs. Packers will be at the bottom of their division, says Kevin. Nah, that will be the Bears. There is no question about that. The Bears will be. I mean,
it is Bengals, Ravens, Browns, Steelers for the odds.
The Steelers are
the Browns are at plus 400. The Steelers at 470. So it's not a big.
Right, but they still got the longest odds. Which, Steve, wow, I didn't realize. I didn't realize the Steelers would have the longest odds. Doesn't that seem like odd to you?
Yeah, I mean, wow. The Browns every year look good on paper for the past since they got OBJ and Mayfield and that Landry, all the team, and Njoku. I mean, they've had some studs for a while, and they continue to be the Browns.
I was actually reading an article, and the Cleveland Browns have never won the AFC North. The last time they won a division is when it was called the Central still. So just put that into perspective. But Kevin says Packers will be at the bottom of the division. I want to speak about the Packers here a little bit. So I do think the Bears will be at the bottom of their division. However, Hoffy, I do think the Bears will be much improved, meaning the wins will not come easy for them, but they'll look better on the field. Last year, when you watched the Chicago Bears, you're like, man, my freaking high school team could like beat this team. Man, my local college team could like beat this team. The Bears just did not look good last season. Justin Fields was a shit show. Their whole offense was like a JV offense type of offense. It was just ridiculous, right? But I think you guys are sleeping on the Packers. I think the Packers will win this division. The Packers are that team.
Yeah, the Bears have some cupcake games in there as far as the Falcons, the Cardinals. We'll even say the Browns, the Panthers. That'll be a game, I think. But they also play the Saints. They play the Chargers. They do have the Commanders. They got the Bucks. I mean, those are two very winnable games. But they also play the Bills. They play the Chiefs. Like I said already, the Chargers, the Lions twice, the Packers twice. I mean, it's going to be tough to. I don't see how they're not at the bottom of the barrel there in that division.
Yeah, so let me pull up these power rankings back up. And Alpha Rob says 2, 7, 8, 9, and 10 all got to go. So 7, 8, 9, 10 have all got to go. He says Seattle's got to go. Vikings got to go. Steelers got to go. Giants got to go. And then number 2, the Miami Dolphins have got to go as well.
Alpha Rob, what about number 5?
What? Basically, Alpha Rob wants Buffalo Bills at number 1, then the Kansas City Chiefs, then Buffalo Bills at number 3, 4, and 5, rounded out by some other shit show teams. Let's go ahead and put the Houston Texans up there for crying out loud. Like, what? Half of
Alpha Rob, send us your top 10.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to be better than Bucks. I don't doubt that.
So he says Packers 8-0. Yeah. Have you seen the Packers' first 8 games? They have a very, very favorable first 8 games of the season. Starting out with the Chicago Bears. That's an easy dub.
The Falcons, there's 2-0. The Saints.
That could be a game.
That could be a game, but I think that it's in Green Bay.
Yeah, it is in Green Bay.
That's Packers.
And it's the opening home game of the season. That place is going to be lit. And then the Lions calm to town.
And you got payback on your mind on that one, I think. Oh, yeah. Too. So easily 4-0. Raiders 5-0. Broncos 6-0.
Yeah.
Buck, you might not actually be speaking shit out of your mouth for once.
I mean, the only 2 games that I would
Vikings and the Rams
be worried about is
and the Steelers too. So they could go 9-0 to start. Shit.
Steelers are pretty good, but it is it is at the Steelers. So, that kind of levels it out. But in those first
But Watt games, won't be there by then. He's gonna be torn pectoral or something by then.
But yeah, so the only 2 games that I really have circled that I would like, maybe they could possibly lose that game is the Broncos at Mile High Stadium, because Mile High Stadium is a very tough place to play. You go 1.5 miles above sea level, air is thin. It is just a tough place to play. For whatever reason, every team not named the Kansas City Chiefs have a tough time playing there, and I don't know why. But other than that, 8-0.
Have you ever played at altitude?
At altitude? No, I have not.
No? Okay.
The closest I have been at, quote, altitude was Boulder, Colorado, and that was, I don't know, like maybe 1,000 or 2,000 feet, maybe.
Okay. But so then this question is somewhat valid. Did it affect you at all?
Yes. People that have asthma understand this. Yeah. So just like you can never feel like you're always trying to catch your breath, right? Like when you take a deep breath, it just isn't there, right? I mean, it's there, it is.
Maybe I'm just a different breed.
Well, have you played at altitude?
I have, yeah. Plus, I'm in Denver all the time for work and doing all kinds of
when you
running and everything.
So you played baseball at altitude, right? I'm assuming,
and soccer.
Okay, well, soccer is definitely a lot more demanding than baseball is, but I feel baseball is not that demanding of a sport as far as huffing and puffing for long periods of time, right?
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm more so referring to going for my morning jog before going to work when I was when I'm in Denver, and as well as I've played soccer. Shit, I've even been to Mexico for soccer. So
yeah, I feel like if you smoke, you probably have a better lung capacity for the altitude because you can't breathe as deep anyways.
I don't smoke anymore.
I
didn't smoke when I was an athlete either, so that's invalid.
I'm just talking shit. So your truth is only the truth in another dimension. Kevin, you are absolutely right. I have been living in the 4th dimension my entire life, where the time is not time. Time is measured by units or something. I'm not for sure how the 4th dimension is measured. But Kevin says Bears beat the Packers week 1. Lock it in.
Can I borrow some money to bet on that? Because I ain't trusting my wallet.
Listen, Hoffy, if you go to betstamp.app right now, use promo code MANHOUR, for every new sports book that you sign up for, they will give you that money. So if you have
How much are they paying you to say that?
They don't pay us anything. Well, they pay us something, right, to pay. But seriously, when we signed up for it back in June or July, they gave me $280 to bet with off of Barstool, FanDuel, and what's the other one? The other made edge one here. FanDuel.
Are you still in the positive? Because I know Combs was probably in the negative on the first night.
I am positive $3,000 as of right now from March Madness still. So with that being said, Alpha Rob says, why Fins at number 2, Buck? Because when we look at the Miami Dolphins, Hoffy, you are a AFC East guy. Do you think the Miami Dolphins on paper right now had the best defense in the AFC East?
Yes. You know, and that's even with Jalen Ramsey being on the sideline right now. But
with
yeah,
they got Apple already being burnt, and it's not even week 1 yet. So yes. So Alpha Rob, that is the big reason why I have them in the top 5 there, is because of their defense. We know that their offense is going to do some work. We know that Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Scotty Miller, they're all going to do work. They do have an older running back committee, right? They have Wilson, Mostert, off the top of my head there. Who else they got in the backfield? I think they got a Acne guy, which is a rookie, I do believe. So their offense will be very, very hard to stop. And when you have a very hard offense to stop, that makes your defense able to play looser, able to play funner, take more risk, because you know your offense can bail you out. That is why the Kansas City Chiefs defense usually excels the second half of the season, because they know Patrick Mahomes is going to be balling. They know that, they can take those risks. So that is why I have them at number 2, because if the season were to be played right now, I think the Miami Dolphins can beat almost every team on this list 9 times out of 10. I say almost, but Hoffy, would you have the Dolphins at 2, or like where'd you have the Dolphins at?
I think you got to have them in the top 5, but I could see you sliding Bengals, Chiefs, San Fran in front of them.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Yes,
but other than that, I think they're right there. I mean, we talk about defenses in the AFC East. I don't think the Jets are. I mean, the Bills are going to be as great as they have been. I think a lot of their players are, past their prime. Von Miller, Poyer,
and he's still hurt. He's out for 4 weeks.
I mean,
at least
the Patriots. There are too many question marks there on the offense, but they're going to have a good defense. I think that their rookie quarterback Christian Gonzalez is going to be pretty solid. But even the Jets are going to have a pretty good defense. So I still think that I'm going to give the edge to the Dolphins, but I think the Jets are right there. And heck, you could probably even argue the Patriots defense, but I don't think they have enough on offense to warrant them being relevant at this time.
Right. And just to add to your point here, I kind of feel like 2 through 6, we can kind of put the names in a hat and draw them out. And I would not be disappointed in any of that order, because I kind of feel like those teams all match up together really, really, really well. So that's why I currently have the Miami Dolphins at number 2, is just because I think their defense is just as good as their offense, and obviously their offense is very, very good. So Kevin says the Bears, there it is. Bears game scores will be closer. I do agree. The Bears games will be closer this season, but a wise man once told me you have to learn how to lose before you know how to win. And right now, the Chicago Bears just don't know how to do anything right now. They're still believing Justin Fields is going to be an MVP this season, Hoffy. So obviously the Bears don't know shit.
Who's they? Are we putting Combs in the they category? I don't think anyone's calling him to be MVP.
We can put names on there. Yeah, Combs thinks that Justin Fields will be an MVP.
I think he's gonna. I mean, shit. It's hard not to take a step forward with what he put on. What he's put on the field. I do think Pace has done some good work as far as GM. I mean, they got to be able to protect him, but I don't see them being relevant yet. But
they will be relevant in the fact that the games will be closer and be more competitive and be more fun to watch. But that will not correlate into wins on the scorebook.
I agree.
So Steve says Green Bay good quarterback reviews for some. Yes, Jordan Love. I feel like Hoffy, people either love Jordan Love or they hate Jordan Love. There is no mediocre point. He can be a decent quarterback for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. It is either They're all in. They're hyping him up. They're saying, "Oh, this guy is a bust." Where do you stand on Jordan Love? Are you on the hype train of Jordan Love? Best quarterback in the NFC North, like I've been saying, or is he going to be on the bust?
I'm a big fan of Jordan Love. I mean, look what Aaron Rodgers did versus this stout defense of the Eagles in that, was it a Sunday night or Monday night game?
Yep.
He goes out injured. In comes Jordan Love, gets them back in the game. I think when you have Dillon, and then you have their number one running back, and then you have Dobbs, you have Watson. I think they have the weapons around them. They're all young. We've seen with Matthew Stafford, he doesn't know how to, gel with these younger people, and such like that. Jordan Love is young. The receivers are young. The running backs are young. I think they have a great core for him to be successful. And I almost wonder if that's kind of why Aaron Rodgers struggled last year, because he didn't really kind of gel with him towards the, till the end of the year.
Right.
Jordan Love seemed to come in on the, limited access that he had, did fine. He's had all off season. So yeah, I think we're absolutely going to see, a gem out of Jordan Love at that quarterback position.
Yeah, and we've been talking up the receiver cores of Miami and Cleveland and Dallas and other teams out there. I've been, me myself included, I've been forgetting how good of a receiver core that the Green Bay Packers could possibly have this season. They are all very, very young. They're all very, very skilled. And so I think the sky is the limit. They have unfortunately, they could be really, really, really bad or really, really, really good. I don't think there's going to be any mediocre point for the Green Bay Packers this season. So, I am on the Jordan Love hype train. Steve, thanks for bringing that up. Kevin says Houston Texans would fit perfect on the power rankings list. Hey, listen, Kevin. You've been running your mouth a lot tonight. All right. Listen, the Houston Texans are not that bad a team. The Houston Texans will be okay. So if they're a top 10 team come week 2,
that's only because they're in the AFC South.
Kevin, next week I'm going to troll you just to put the Houston Texans up there at number 10. Even if they get blown out by whoever the freak they play, I don't know. Like I can't even look to seeing who they play. It doesn't matter. I'm putting Texans at number 10, Hoffy. And Alpha Rob comes with his top 10 list. He says Buffalo number 1, Kansas City 2, Cincinnati, and then Philadelphia Eagles at number 4, San Francisco 5, Baltimore Ravens at number 6. Oh my good Lord. Dallas Cowboys, Chargers, Jacksonville, and then Detroit. First off, what is this hype about the Baltimore Ravens? Hoffy, what have the Ravens done this offseason to really oh man, let's get a hard on for the Baltimore Ravens? Lamar Jackson, oh praise Allah.
They signed OBJ, and he's feeling great after 3 torn ACLs and 30 plus years of age. So
Odell Beckham Jr. was fine about 15 years ago when he made the one catch. Ever since then, he's been a below average receiver. Oh, are you guys that excited about Zay Flowers, a rookie that you don't even know what he's going to do in his first NFL game?
Hey, don't be talking shit about my Boston College, buddy.
Yeah, BC's trash.
So is it Kansas State, but
anything that has initials BC is trash. Let's just be honest about it. But this is the one that is kind of, I understand the hype around Baltimore, right? Lamar Jackson can lead them to the promised land. Sure, whatever. Dallas Cowboys, yes. The only thing that I am really concerned about this one is the Chargers.
Him and Tua are going to be in a retirement home together, but by the time they're 35 years old.
I cannot jump on the Chargers wagon. Yes, if you look at the paper, Hoffy, the Chargers have a great team, a great defense. They have Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, JC, what's his name, right?
They got Jackson, they got Samuel Jr. Yeah, I agree, and I want to jump on the train too. I love their quarterback. I'm an Oregon fan. I want to see him do well, but when you have that coach, I'm not even going to say his name. He's that fucking bad. And then you add Kellen Moore.
Ugh, I'll put some on his name.
But and then you got to throw in Kellen Moore. good Lord, talk about the dumb leading the dumber.
Yeah, let me take a look at the Chargers schedule this season, because I believe they had one of the hardest schedules in the NFL. I believe it was a top 10 strength of schedule there, because if you look at their first 6 weeks of the season, they're at home versus Miami. They're playing a Titans team, at Titans, at Vikings, and they play Raiders, Cowboys, and then at Chiefs. If they can start 3-3 their first 6 games of the season, I could possibly start to buy into some hype of the Chargers. Because let's just be honest, that is a pretty tough stretch. You have 2 division games, and then you play a top 5 team in the Dallas Cowboys, and then the Vikings, and then the Dolphins as well. All top 10 teams, and a Titans team that is probably going to be much improved, because Ryan Tannehill is the man over there, not Will Levis, not whatever else this guy's name is. What is his other guy's name?
Yeah, the Chargers are fourth in hardest schedule.
Yeah, so fourth hardest schedule.
And Miami's number 3. Chiefs are just behind the Chargers. New England's number 1, Raiders 2. But yeah, you got Dolphins 3, Chargers 4, Chiefs 5. The Bills are there at number 7. The Jets are there at number 8.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I guess maybe, Hoffy, you can say I'm biased, because obviously I am a Chiefs fan, and I believe the Chargers are the only team on paper that can really rival the Chiefs, I guess. But I cannot jump on this Chargers train. And I know many people are, for whatever reason, and I just don't know why, but it is what it is. Kevin says Acne is the rookie. Yes. I don't know anything about. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. Acane, Acne. I'm not for sure. But either way, I need to watch film on this guy, because my man Arthur Brown, Huffy, he has been talking him up a lot, and I don't know anything about him at all. The only thing I know is he went to Texas A&M, and he was drafted in the 3rd round. That's the only thing that I know about him. I didn't see him play against LSU or Alabama or any other SEC team, because I think SEC football is way overrated, but I digress from that. But do you know anything about this guy?
I don't, but I mean, you look at Mike McDaniel's resume over in San Francisco, and I believe they had Mostert over there. I mean, they had a lot of guys that had been in the league and not done a lot, and he was able to get them in the right position and have them, making some plays. So I think with if he gets the right skill set, and him drafting him, I'm assuming he likes the skill set that he brings to the table. So I do think that Mike McDaniel will put them in him in his spot to be successful. So yeah, I do think that he's a good coach and not a bad running back. So I haven't seen a lot of him, but I just trust that McDaniel will be able to produce with his running back.
He might be one of the only young coaches that I like right now, I think. Kevin said Tua. Go ahead.
Especially when you're going to have, you have Waddle and then you have Hill. So you're going to, the box isn't going to be as full, because you're going to have double coverage, if not on both of them, on at least one of them. So that's going to open up that box for the running backs to, to come out of the backfield on those screen passes, or even, run up the middle and get a couple extra yards before contact. So, that's just my 2 cents.
Right. And I also, guys, I just realized that I misspoke. Braxton Berrios is the number 3 receiver for the Miami Dolphins. Scotty Miller is on the Atlanta Falcons. That was my mistake. I just wanted to clear that up, so I don't get trolled in the chat later. Kevin says Tua will not make it through a whole season. Now, last season, obviously Tua had those back-to-back concussions, and we saw the on the field, right? but
hey, he's looking a little bit more like a Samoan now. So
yeah, didn't Stephen A. Smith call him fat?
No, Ryan Clark.
Oh, Ryan Clark called him fat. Yeah, so I mean, he's thicker. He can take those shots now. But
keep my name out your mouth.
Yeah, but even if Tua cannot complete the full season, they brought in a very valuable backup from the New York Jets by the name of Mike Longneck White, and he will be a very serviceable backup. If this guy was a dinosaur, he would be a plant eater, getting those leaves off the very top of the tree. And we forget that they drafted a quarterback last season, entering his second season. Yes, he was a 7th round pick. Yes, I get it. But he was from the Kansas State University. And this man,
trash
Thompson, if you give him the opportunity, he is going to do some work. Hoffy, you can say trash, but my man, Skylar Thompson, last season took the Buffalo Bills on the brink of almost beating them in the wild card game. 34-31. Skylar Thompson led them to almost to the promised land, and Tyreek Hill only had 69 yards in that game. Only 69 yards in that game.
I could lead the freaking Dolphins past the Bills. I mean, shit, we could put you at quarterback and the Dolphins would be all right.
Listen,
Arthur Brown could probably put up 350.
I mean, Alpha Rob, I don't want to dog your Buffalo Bills by any means, but Skylar Thompson, a third string quarterback, 7th round pick, in his second career game, his third career game ever, took the Buffalo Bills to 34-31 in the wild card game when the best receiver in the NFL only has 69 yards. Understand that Skylar Thompson is that guy. Jim Melvin is in chat. There's a new name we have never seen, Hoffy. Jim, welcome to the show, man. We are live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. East Coast time. We do after our show every Tuesday and Friday at 10 p.m. East Coast time. He says the Dolphins have to prove it over a long stretch of games before I believe it. You are correct. Last season, the Miami Dolphins season was very much of a roller coaster. They won 3 games, they lost 3 games. Won 4 games, lost 4 games. Won 2 games, lost 2 games. Yes, it was a very much of a roller coaster ride last season for the Miami Dolphins. Jim, I do have to concur with you on that. But right now, if the season were to end, obviously we haven't even played week 1 yet, but if the season were to end, I think the Miami Dolphins could beat 30 of the 32 NFL teams. 31 of the 32 NFL teams. Well, no, it'd be 30 of the 31 NFL teams. You can't count. You can't beat yourself unless you are the Arizona Cardinals. Alpha Rob says they can't beat most of the teams on that list, as in the Buffalo Bills. Think he's referring to Buffalo.
But they're gonna have to. Josh Allen's gonna have to have a 125 plus QBR rating kind of game, and just put the team on his back, similar to But heck, I mean, look what he did against your Chiefs, and give Patrick Mahomes 23 seconds, and he comes back and wins
13 seconds, right, Alpha Rob?
Yeah,
13 seconds, baby. That's all we need. No, but Alpha Rob was so mad after that game, and we were trolling him on the show all game long. But this is the problem. This is the biggest problem with the Buffalo Bills, right? Now, they are a very good passing team. They do have Gabe Davis, great number 2 receiver. Stephon Diggs, a really good number 1 receiver. They do have Dawson Knox, a really good tight end. However, beyond that, who do you have? If you shut down Stephon Diggs, is Gabe Davis going to step up and be that guy? I don't think he is. And then you don't have a running game. James Cook, Damian Harrison, Latavius Murray. Are you run the ball? Sorry, I had a cough and little bit dying there. But that is the Buffalo Bills' biggest flaw, is they are not a balanced team. When you take away their passing game, they're like saying, I'm still going to pound the wall. What is that movie? I think it's Remember the Titans, right? It's just like butter. Give it time, it always works, or something. Just like that. I mean, the Buffalo Bills, they're just going to pass and pass and pass and pass and pass and pass. It's great until November, and then when you get 6 feet of snow on the ground, you're still trying to pass the ball 40 times in a game. Come on. Hoffy, weren't you a part of that game, Mr. 3 passes from Mac Jones and your New England Patriots in that game?
I was, yeah. But I mean, I wonder if they've learned their lesson for the past 3+ years now, and if they went out and got the running back Harris, who was with my Patriots, and maybe they're going to rely a little bit more in those November, December, January 5 feet of snow games that they play in Buffalo, and pound the rock.
So Kevin says, "Yeah, I'm pretty good at running my mouth." LMAO. Well, come on the show, Kevin, and run your mouth. Apparently, Kevin has a show that he does. They did record their podcast Sunday, I do believe. So, Kevin, come on and talk your shit, man. Brandon Dickerson. That is a new name we have not seen here before, Hoffy. And he said Chiefs at 4. LOL. So, Brandon, I understand you are new here, and we just don't laugh at statements just like this. Where would you have the Chiefs? I mean, obviously, I want to put them at number 1 as a Chiefs fan. As reigning Super Bowl champions, I feel that they probably should be at number 1, right? But I think there are 3 other teams right now that are better than they are without Chris Jones.
I mean, are you sold on their, just through training camp, their receivers? You lost Juju Smith-Schuster. We have talked a lot about
loss. Go
what's
ahead.
That?
Which was a underlying, or like a kind of a undertow of a big loss, right? But I think the addition of Sky Moore from year 1 to year 2 will replace the subtraction of Juju Smith-Schuster alone. MVS a second year in the system, Tooney a full year in the system, and then you have some guys that are kind of up and coming, right? Ricky James, this guy, he was drafted back in 2017, I think, by the San Francisco 49ers, and he just hasn't had an opportunity to really show his worth, and I think he is going to show some work. And then we got Rashid Rice. Rashid Rice, he was our second round pick this season. I think he is going to explode off the map. I got the opportunity to watch a little bit of his SMU highlight tape, and there are certain guys that just like jump off that screen at you, and I think Rashid Rice is that guy. Now, will they be as talented as the Kansas City Chiefs receivers 2 years ago with like Hardman and Tyreek Hill and who else? Josh Gordon, like those guys? No. But they could. The good thing that the Kansas City Chiefs do have is they don't have that number 1 receiver. That is what makes the Chiefs so dangerous in the receiving game, is you don't know who to double. And I've seen people, double Travis Kelce. He is a guy. If you are double teaming a tight end, you have already lost that game. Hoffy, you know that. When people tried to double team Gronk or who's a guy that killed his mom? Hernandez, right? When you start double teaming those guys, the rest of the offense is open up, right?
Are you referring to Aaron Hernandez?
Yes, he didn't kill his mom, but he killed like his brother and
his brother-in-law.
Yeah, whatever. But
my son's named after Aaron Hernandez.
Oh, sorry. But and you guys aren't even Mexican, but yes.
All right. He's named Aaron because Aaron Hernandez was my favorite player, but this was pre-murders that we knew of.
Was it though? Was it really pre-murders?
That's why I said that we knew of.
Right. But the Chiefs at 4. I have the Chiefs at 4 just because honestly, I try to take my bias out of them, and sometimes I think I grade them too hard to show that I'm not being biased. If that makes sense. Does it make sense, Hoffy? Like you're being harder on your team because you don't want people to think that you're being biased, right?
Oh yeah, I don't know. Absolutely. I mean, even when the Patriots were on their dynasty, a lot of times, you could say, no, we're not that good, but deep down, you knew that they were that good. So
right.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
And it's They said that, some swelling in the knee, but, the ACL is still intact. But, I mean, if he does, I don't think you want to play him week 1, because if he is questionable week 1 and takes a hit, I mean, he's pretty vital to your team. So I think you'd almost be best off resting him regardless, and just, unless it's absolutely 100%, which
Right.
maybe it is. But, I mean, it
And you
is
guys
it is
forget
the
that
Lions.
we have Blake Bell. People don't know who Blake Bell is because he is an unsung hero for the Kansas City Chiefs. He is almost Travis Kelce's twin, like big and bulky and fast and unnaturally quick. I don't know. It just kind of it just kind of weird. Kevin says monkeys realistic top 10. Number 1, the Chiefs. Number 2, Eagles, 49ers, Bengals, Bills, Cowboys, Jets, Dolphins, Lions, Seahawks. So Alpha Rob has given us his top 10. Kevin's given us his top 10 as well. And 2 common themes that I'm seeing here is the Lions and Jets both in the top 10. Hoffy, you mentioned the Jets and the Lions as well in the top 10.
Well, I'm not putting the Lions in the top 10 of mine, but I am putting them in the top, over Seattle Seahawks, over Minnesota Vikings. But and the Seahawks last year were sneaky good. I expect them to be decent again, but I mean, I think a lot of that played into, the schedule played into it. I mean, it's just not the same Seattle team that they've had in the past. I mean,
you're right. They're even better now because
Jesus,
Geno Smith on the MVP level. Confidence is killer in the NFL. They added.
I'll take Justin Fields over him all day for MVP.
They drafted the receiver from Ohio State, Smith,
Njigba.
The Jigba. He is going to be great. They Jamal Adams is back. That defense is going to be scary. Do not sleep on the Seattle Seahawks, guys.
I mean, and they do play the Cardinals twice and the Rams twice, so
and they play the
4 wins right there.
They're 6-0 right there.
No, Jesus.
Lord. You're right. Let's be realistic.
But yeah, they should go 4-2, 5-1. If they sneak one out against the Niners. So
Kevin says Akane is how you say his name. Akane is fast little shit. He is 5'5", so I do like some fast little shits. I love a good power shit. And he says back to back to back. I'm confused by that statement. Hoffy, you know what he's talking about? Back to back to back. I don't know. Alpha Rob says Tua gaining weight going to be slower than he was before. Well, you see, Alpha Rob, that is what's great about being a quarterback is you snap the ball in a shotgun, you're 5 yards back. You take 2 steps and you throw the ball. Quarterbacks don't have to be fast, right? Tom Brady, right? Peyton Manning, right? Patrick Mahomes. You don't got to be fast. You just got to be able to throw the rock around and hand the ball off. Jeez.
Yeah, know the right times to take off when when the middles open up, and that's what Mahomes does perfectly. So yeah, I mean, if Tua takes a page out of Mahomes' book, I'll take that all day.
Kevin says the Buffalo Bills defense was completely wiped out. LOL. We had so many injuries. It all explains it now. Kevin is a Buffalo Bills fan. The seas have parted and everything's come to fruition now. Blame it on injuries. Next man up, my man. I don't care. Next man up. It says y'all are ridiculous. The Bills had the #1 defense last season. Are we living in like 2004? What the fuck? Did we not see the Philadelphia Eagles defense? Did we not see the Kansas City Chiefs defense last season?
Right, and the Eagles got younger on defense.
Right, younger.
Yes, the Bills have some superstars on defense, but we're talking they're past their prime. Their window is quickly evaporating. And I would have, it's tough to say when they're in my division, but I would have liked to see them over the Chiefs or even over the Bengals. I mean, people are going to shoot me for that, but it is what it is. But I think their window at this point is closed. I don't think Josh Allen can have 3 or 4 games where he is, just magnificent. And I think that is what is going to take to come out of that AFC. Mahomes can do that for you. Burrow can do that. Allen can do that two games. I don't think he can do it 3-4 games in a row.
Allen can do that from 20 to 20. Once he's inside the 20, aka the red zone, he likes to throw the ball to the other team over and over and over again. So I just Googled the Buffalo Bills defense ranked in 2022, and it says in context, the Buffalo Bills ranked 9th in the metric of the 2022 and the 2nd in 2021 on the defense. However, the quality of the Bills' defense, depending on how much the linebacker Von Miller plays this season. Unfortunately, Von Miller will miss at least 4 games this season due to being on the PUP list. So last season, the Buffalo Bills' defense was ranked 9th, and the previous season they were ranked 2nd. So there is some validity of what Kevin's saying, but number 1 defense, I can name you at least 7 better than the Buffalo Bills right off the top of my head. Alpha Rob says, especially against Frazier's defenses when the Kansas City Chiefs excel. Listen, I read an article about this, Hoffy, about the 13 seconds when the Buffalo Bills gave up that final play to the Kansas City Chiefs. Sean McDermott was calling plays that last 13 seconds. So Leslie Frazier wasn't the issue. It was Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott, I think, is one of the most overrated coaches in the NFL. I think he's on a hot seat this season. I think it's time for him to win or shut up and move on. Couple more comments here, guys, before we end the show here. Jim says 2023 Jets might replicate the 2020 Bucks.
I think it's going to go one way or the other.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be an in-between. And I think we've discussed, or at least you have discussed that in the morning shows, but when you have that much talent on one side of the ball, how are you going to spread the, this goes back to this morning show. How are you going to spread the love? Winning cures everything, but time will tell.
Especially at that running back spot, right? They have Breece Hall, they have Delvin Cook and Michael Carter. Now they are said to be on a pitch count for Delvin Cook and Breece Hall. So Michael Carter should get the bulk of the carries come week 1 versus the Buffalo Bills. But if they lose, fingers start pointing, yada, yada, yada. Kevin says Gabe Davis set up in the last 13 seconds of that game. Gabe Davis did have a great game versus the Kansas City Chiefs. However, they still lost the game. Robbie says, "What's up?" And I say, "What's up, Robbie? Is that a P on your hat, Robbie?"
Good old Pirates hat.
Pirates hat. Oh Lord, let me bust out the real hat. Where's my Rose hat? There it is, right there. Casey all day.
All we can see is your jacked forearms from jacking off.
That's my man Luke G. That's not even me. That's a black guy, and I'm clearly white. Jeez, this guy. He says, just wondering, but what are these rankings based off of? So these rankings are based off of what I saw
24
preseason, OTAs, and what I see on paper and how I think the teams will, do week 1, how they will end the season. And I think if the season were to start and end today, this is how the season would end. I think the Giants would be at number 10, Steelers 9, Vikings, Seahawks, Bengals, Cowboys, Chiefs, 49ers, Dolphins, and then the Eagles. I think
Robbie's mad you don't have the Steelers at number 5.
I guess he is a Pittsburgh fan, so probably. And who are the KC receivers, Buck? We have Ricky James. We have Sky Moore. You have MVS. You have Tooney. You can put Isaiah Pacheco out there, Travis Kelce, Jarrett McKinnon. I mean, you can pretty much anybody that plays running back or receiver can be a receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's what makes them so great. Jim Powell says, my plane just landed, but you are all wrong. All y'alls.
Whoa, Jim. I'm not taking any credit for this shit.
Well, first of all, Jim is a Raiders fan, so he's pissed that the Raiders are not number 1 because by golly, Raiders are going to the promised land.
Well,
we
that
got
and because
Jimmy
you
G.
got the 49ers up there in the top 5. That's going to piss them off too.
Hoffy, let's
Why
talk
everyone
a
going to
little bit
associate
about
us
the Raiders.
together? What the fuck?
Let's talk a little bit about the Raiders. Do you think the Raiders can legitimately have a winning season? They have Jimmy G. They have Devontae Adams. They have Josh Jacobs back. They have what's that defensive end name? Mason Crosby.
What's their coach's name? Oh, that's right. Josh McDaniels. Yeah, they ain't winning shit. They'll win 2 games. He'll run up and down the sidelines, waving to his fans, and he'll be out of there by the end of the year.
True.
Just ask the Broncos.
But they all tall. But they tall. But are they tall? What? I don't. Alpha Rob, we've been talking about drinking, and you should probably. But they tall. I mean, what are we referring to, Alpha Rob? Because to Combs, everybody's tall. My man's fucking 5'6", 260 pounds. Everybody's tall to Combs. So
he'd make a great fullback.
He would if he could take more than 3 inches of like a step. But Jim Powell says, "Jimmy G, baby, slinging those slinging throws and banging hoes." I like it.
Who was the porn star he was dating?
I don't know. Jimmy G is probably the most attractive NFL player. I'm just going to put that out there. Robbie says the Bills couldn't really run the ball effectively. I think that is their main problem. Exactly right. Exactly what we said, Robbie, about 20 minutes ago. That is the Buffalo Bills' biggest downfall is they do not run the ball. They want to pass the ball 90% of the time.
Yeah, but they went out and got Damian Harris. That's all going to change. I'm telling you. They're going to change their ways.
Robbie, clearly not a Steelers fan. It's like, I honestly don't care what the Steelers are ranked. It doesn't matter where you rank us because we're going to be number 1 at the end of the season, baby. Kevin says running backs and tight ends are not wide receivers, LOL. Well, you see, Kevin, if you were
He's never met Aaron Hernandez.
You have never met Aaron Hernandez. He caught it and he received it all at the same time.
And he ran it.
And
he did all 3.
Oof. I think we're talking about 3 different things here, but he definitely caught it and ran it a lot. If you catch the drift there, Hoffy. He was a catcher and a receiver. That's why he. Oh, sorry. Let's not.
I believe McKinnon. Yeah, no, you're done. I believe McKinnon has lined up in the slot and on the outside.
Yes.
I mean,
same
with Kelsey.
Legitimately, everybody on the Chiefs roster that is listed as a tight end, receiver, or a running back can line up as a receiver. The only person that I would not put as a slot receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs is the backup tight end, not Blake Bell. The guy's slipping my mind right now. What is his name? Noah Gray, right? I would not line up Noah Gray as a slot receiver. This guy's like 6'3", 300 pounds. He's simply there to block for you on blocking on goal line things. Kevin says, shit, I'm surprised the Raiders aren't on this list. Man, Jesus. All right. Next week, we're going to have the Texans. We're going to have the chart. So Hoffy, it was about this time last season when
top 10.
It was I want to say it was about week 9 last season when people were dogging my power because they were pissed off because I had the San Francisco 49ers like at number 7 or 8 or something, just like that. So I made a brand new power rankings list. I put every 32 NFL team and put number 1 next to their name. So people could not get pissed off. And people were still pissed off about, well, you can't put every team at number 1. Clearly I was trolling. But people don't understand it. He says Pirates rock, but Penn is where it's at. Depends. The
fuck is the last time the Penguins were relevant?
I don't know. Who fucking cares about hockey? Wisconsin sucks, full of trees and thick, polished bitches.
Torrey Anderson would take offense to that one.
And last comment of the night, I flew in beside a Packer fan who thinks Love is a second coming, and he is exactly right. Packers fan is not wrong.
I'd say he's the third coming, right behind Favre and Rodgers.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could say fourth because wasn't who was the quarterback before that? It wasn't Bart Starr, was it? Was it? No, Bart Starr. Yeah.
Packers.
I can't remember. I'm not that old. Speaking of old, my wife turned 42. She's old as
Cradle robber.
Right?
What are you, like 31?
I wish. 10 years ago. But guys, that is going to be it for the show tonight. These are the Week 1 NFL Power Rankings. Join us tomorrow, 10 a.m. East Coast time, as we dive some more deep into some Chiefs-Lions talk. Man, Hoffy, we're like 36 hours away from NFL football. Are you excited?
I got a half chub just thinking about it.
Oh, let me get a full chub.
No, you only get the waist up tonight, bud.
What's that?
You only get the waist up tonight. I'm not wearing pants.
Oh, sweet. Sweet. Closing thoughts, Hoffy.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. Just looking forward to getting these next 36 hours over so we can get on with the this upcoming season.
From what I understand, the best way to pass time is beat it till it bleeds and beat it because it's bleeding. See you next time, guys.